Okay, as you may or may not know, the Tesla has a function where it can mimic a garage door remote. So instead of using this remote to open the garage door, you can press a button on the screen. Now, I read somewhere recently that someone had trouble with that, in that it was almost seemed to be pressing it twice, where the door would start opening and then stop, as though it's detected the button twice. So I'm just going to investigate what kind of signal that puts out compared to the remote control. Okay, the way I'm going to do this is start with the remote control. Now, it's a Merlin garage door opener, and on the back of the remote it says 433 megahertz. So what I'm going to use is my HackRF software-defined radio here and GNU radio companion, just to visualize the RF that gets transmitted. So right here I've just got the FFT plot and a waterfall displayed. So when I press the button, even if I press it briefly, it does what it needs to transmit. Okay, so what you can see is, you can see the peaks at the bottom, but I'm not too worried about them so much as the top. And if I zoom in a little on the time scale, press the button, and then just pause that. Here's where it was transmitted, okay? So it's transmitting just after the 2-second mark, and it stopped before 3 seconds. Okay, so I'll try and zoom that in even more. Do it again. Okay, I'll stop that. And you can see it was from here to here, or there to there. So it's just under 1 second of transmit time. So even if I only press this very briefly, it does its 1 second transmission. So what I'll do now is I'll record what the car does and see if it's any different. Now, I can't look at the screen while I'm in the car, so what I'm going to do is set up the program here to record that RF's capture to a file, and then I can just load it and look at it again. So I'll do that now. I'll stop this. I'll enable the file recording and start recording. So I'll go to the car and press the button. Okay, so I've just recorded what the car transmits, so I'll just adjust this to read from the file and just display it in a loop here so I can see what was actually recorded, because I couldn't do it at the same time. So I'll just disable the recording, disable the RF source, and just enable it from the file where I saved it. And I don't need the FFT really, so I'll just use the waterfall. Okay, so if I have a look at that, I'll keep it small actually so I can see. Just zoom in a bit on the time here, and I should see where I pressed it. There it is. Okay, you can see between here and here is when it was pressed. Oh, down there, even longer there. So let's say from 1 second time here up to 3 seconds. So basically from what it shows there is when you press it in the car, it transmits for 2 seconds, which is quite a long time. I mean, no one presses that for 2 seconds. I don't. And you don't have to for these to work. So this sends 1 second out, but the car does it for 2 seconds. So if you're having an issue where your garage door is going up and then stopping, it may be that something interrupted that signal, you know, if it didn't quite receive it probably, and it might have seen it a bit saying, yep, let's go up, and then saw it again and said, oh, we've got to stop now. So that could be happening, or it just doesn't like a 2 second button push. But I'd say that's what's happening, is that if you're having trouble with your garage door detecting 2 button presses, it's probably because it transmits for 2 seconds, and if there's an interruption during that time, it'll just see it as 2 button pushes. But anyway, similar to packet captures of a network, if you want to see what's going on in the air with these, use software-defined radio and have a look at the RF. So until next time. Even if I press this even briefer,